don't always have the best self-esteem. So the answer is I don't have any self. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think
not to laugh at the fact that you don't have any self-esteem.
I'm the worst.
I'm laughing at the fact.
Please do. I want people to laugh. No, I mean, you know, it's for me, it's interesting the way that you asked the question, because I almost feel like it's two questions sort of put into one. Which
I do that sometimes.
No, it's interesting. You know, one of which is. Almost the way that I interpret it is more how do you measure yourself versus like society's expectations of you. To be honest, I mean, I think that is why that can cause a lot of pain for a lot of people, even when you're self-aware of it, you know.
Probably even more so, right?
Yeah, I mean, right, because you're like, darn, I should not be bothered by this thing, but it still bothers me, you know. Yeah, I think, you know, I do think that shaking those expectations can be really difficult, and I mean, I think that's part of, I mean, to kind of tie into what we were saying earlier, you know, about social media and everything. I feel like I shat on social media a lot. Like, oh, can I swear on this?
Yeah, shat
okay,
is
cool.
okay.
Great.
Shit.
So I shat all over it. I just pooped all over it. No, anyway. But one of the good things about social media is that it can really help us connect and see from a bunch of different perspectives that are not our own. And ultimately, you know, I said earlier it might not be the best place for discussion. I think really that doesn't mean that it's not a place for listening. And I do think that you know, listening to everybody's perspective and like actually learning to listen better can help us all with our own like weird societal bullshit that we're all trying to kind of shake off, you know, because it can be helpful, first of all, when you hear that someone else has a similar, you know, difficulty, or on the contrary, it can be very helpful to hear about the difficulties of others that are alien to your own. I mean, you know, certainly when we talk about society and its expectations, there's, you know, you talked about, you know, Guillermo being a man, but there's other things in play. Everything's intersectional, right? I mean, you know, being a man is one thing, but what if you're, you know, a black man, or what if you're a queer man, or what if you're both of those things, or whatever? And, you know, it's like it all kind of merges into this, there's all this shit that gets thrown at you, and it's definitely harder for some than others, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I think, I do like what you were saying, though. I think ultimately you kind of, that's this weird blanket that we're all like, is in the background of all of our lives, and really you kind of, it's helpful to focus on the immediate the people around you, you know, who make you feel good, and hopefully they don't subscribe to those crappy, you know, sort of societal expectations, and if they do, then maybe you should question it. Yeah, maybe you should question it. And right, exactly. Yes, the harmful. Yes, the ones where you're just sitting on the toilet, like, damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
And no matter
what happens, no advancement.
Yeah, exactly.
No progress.
No, you're just stuck there, and you know, it's been too long. You can't get out of the toilet now. It's just awkward for everyone.
And then you're like, why? And you're like, conservatism.